Good day, everybody. This is John Hester here, and I am at Hester's Motorsports in Raton, New Mexico. And today I'm sure you've probably seen videos and everything of the new Kawasaki Ridge. Today is just my review, my walk around. I always get a lot of customers ask me what I think and all this jazz and stuff and junk. So let's get into that and let's go over this particular machine. This is the Ranch Edition, so this is the first one to actually hit dealers' floors. You know, they've got a few of the HVAC with the heating and air conditioning coming out. I know the Limiteds are the second one that's going to be coming. Right now it's about, well, it's the 15th of May of 2024 if you're watching this, to kind of give you a timeline of this. So information was released January 2024. Dealers started ordering them at the end of February. End of April is when, about mid to end of April, when they started hitting the United States on dealers' floor, as the Ranch Edition is the first machine to be able to be ordered and come out. The Limited, which is the gold, these are the non-XC models. So the XC is what we call a little bit more high performance sport utility. I mean, this is pretty sport utility. I'll get into some of that. Now, a lot of these numbers and everything, it's all over the internet and everything, so there's tons and tons of research. I say, you know, do some research and everything. The biggest thing that I could say is, you know, if you're really looking at one, go to a local dealer, sit in it for yourself, drive it for yourself, and see what it is all about for yourself. Okay, so this is the 92 horsepower. They make two engine variants. The XC is 116 horsepower. So at 92 horsepower, it's already the most powerful 1000 cc or smaller utility side by side on the market. That does not include the Ranger 1500, which is, I believe, 105 horsepower, but then you get the XC model, which is 116 horsepower, and it decimates pretty much everything. I mean, that's more horsepower than a Razor 1000 XP, more power than a KRX 1000, you know, and all in part due to that new inline 4 engine. So you have a 4-cylinder, inline 4-cylinder. Everybody knows Kawasaki Ninjas, legendary bikes with the inline 4s. Now, of course, is this a Ninja engine? No. It's a bit different. It is tuned for the application. It's tuned to give a much broader range of power and torque, to be very smooth, very quiet, offer a great range of capabilities. Now, Kawasaki, you have to know, Kawasaki is always first and foremost in their power plants and powertrains and everything. It's about control, usable control, usable power. So everything with Kawasaki, it's engineered to be very, very friendly, very easy to use, and extremely reliable. And that's why they back these. Kawasaki is the only manufacturer puts their money where their mouth is with a 3-year factory warranty standard, and you can extend it up to an additional 4 years for a 7-year factory warranty. Check with your local dealer on prices for extended warranties. You have to buy, currently right now, you can't buy from anyone. You have to buy from the original selling dealer from Kawasaki, and stay away from any aftermarket. I'm not a fan of aftermarket warranties. I do not believe they're worth the money they're printed on. So that's me. That's me. If you've had great luck with aftermarket warranties, great. Hey, good job. Awesome. I won't sell them. I won't deal with them. I would never buy one. That's just me. Okay? So anyways, Kawasaki's warranty is legendary. Their coverage is legendary. What they'll do for the customer is always legendary. So with that kind of baseline in mind, we're going to get into this and kind of talk more about it. I'm going to take it for a drive and I'm going to show you it. It is very quiet. Kawasaki wanted to have a very quiet machine. and they definitely achieve that. The engine is very smooth. Vibration is extremely impressive. I mean, it's like an inline 4 Ninja. You hardly feel any vibration. I mean, honest to God, if you put earplugs on or you couldn't hear the engine, you would have to really put your hand on the dash and feel it to even know that the engine was running. It is very, very smooth, very quiet. Inside the cabin, I mean, you could drive, you have way more wind noise than you do any type of engine or mechanical sounds. Now, on the HVAC models, it's fully enclosed. I mean, they've got insulation and stuff on those type of components, on the doors and the roof and stuff. So inside the cabin, you don't have any of the wind noise. So the HVAC models are very, very quiet. You can cruise 30, 40 miles an hour, and it's like driving in a car. You can carry a conversation just like I'm talking to you right now. It is very impressive. So if you love quiet, you know, and I mean, these are off-road vehicles. I mean, come on. Noise comes with it. That's part of the experience. You know, having some noise, having some heat is part of the experience. I mean, they don't have the massive amounts of sound deadening and heat shielding that automobiles have. But of course, if they did, these machines would weigh probably 3,000 pounds. And this is already a near 2,000 pound machine. So, you know, you're approaching that 1 ton area on this particular machine without the HVAC and stuff. With the HVAC, I believe is over 2,000 pounds. Sorry if I don't have those exact specification numbers memorized in my head. I try to learn everything that I can. I can't remember everything, and I don't want to sit here and have a piece of paper. So, like I said, all the specifications you can check out on Kawasaki.com. Go to the Ridge. You can see every bit of specification, every millimeter of width and height and length and everything. So you can get all that. That's all right there accessible on Kawasaki.com. The Ranch Edition here is a beautiful painted pearl white metallic. So it's a nice sunny day and you get to see that beautiful painted bodywork. Now, of course, the painted bodywork on these plastics are very durable. They last a long time. Now, that's just the hood and the front bodywork is painted. The door and the bed are graphics. So those are just graphics. So if you wanted to black this machine out, all you do is you just peel these graphics off and the whole door is black. The whole bed is black. So there you go. You could have all black on the side if you really, really wanted to. All the Ridge comes standard with the exact same wheel, 14-inch aluminum wheel. These are actually, I'm very surprised, not a staggered offset wheel. So I was doing lots of measurement, and the offset from the lug to the outside of the rim is the same front and rear, which is actually nice because most manufacturers will build an A-arm to fit a staggered wheel versus building an A-arm, a wheel to fit the proper A-arm. So they actually have, at first measurements, now I haven't tore one of these apart, so forgive me if I'm wrong in any way, the arm front and rear is now about equal length because the offsets are equal length. Now, of course, the rim is wider in the rear than the front, and these are pretty wide wheels. Now, I took a tape measure and just kind of looked at it, and it's about 8 inches in the front, about 9 inches in the rear is how wide the wheel is. The tire on the Ranch Edition, it runs a 27-inch tall tire on all the 92 horsepower versions, and the XC, which is a 116 horsepower version, comes with 30-inch tires. This machine will clear 32s without any modification whatsoever. Running 32s, you're going to run into clutching issues, of course, but it has plenty of power and torque to pull them. But you will notice it's not as quick or as, you know, as fast of a machine, because two reasons. When you go with a bigger tire, especially going from a 27 to a 32, that's a big jump in gear ratio. The diameter of the tire totally changes your gear ratio, so now the gearing of the machine is much taller. Second thing is a lot more weight. There's a lot more mass flinging around that it has to pull through. So you're going to put some 30s or 32s on it, you're going to notice that its performance is not quite as high. The Ranch Edition comes with the winch in the front, and it comes with the top. And these are a Duro tire, which is a general direction, which means it's a non-directional tire. So this, you know, you could put this tire on that side and that tire on this side, and the rotation doesn't matter. So it's a unidirectional type tire. Now, can you fit the front to the rear or vice versa? Well, the depth of this rim, I do believe that the inside of the rim, I haven't tried it, so don't quote me on this, but I'm just looking at initial. But I do believe the inside with the steering angle, I do believe the deeper rim, you're going to run into issues with this ball joint, and which the ball joint will go inside the rim on the wider rim, but when you turn the steering wheel and this tire turns at full lock, that rim is going to hit your tie rod on the inside right there. So no, not without a wheel spacer could you run rear rims on the front. So, because there's sometimes that, like on T-Rexes, people will buy another set of rims so they could run 4 rear rims on all 4 corners to have the fat rim and fat tire. You can do that, but you're gonna have to run a wheel spacer. So, just give you an idea. The lug pattern is a 4x156, same as the KRX, same as Polaris, and the studs are 12mm by 1.25 thread pitch. Essentially, these rims are near equal to, now of course the inside depth is different, but comparing to a 7-inch rim, this would be a 4+3 offset. So if you got a set of 4+3 offset wheels, it's not going to stick it out any farther than stock. The only way to get it wider would be to add wheel spacers, or a 0 offset will give you a 1/2 inch on all 4 corners wider. As far as that would give you, you know, if you want just a little bit wider offset and not have to run a spacer, you want to find a 0 offset wheel. So that'll take care of that. Now, a lot of people is going to ask me, because I deal with a Hester Edition Elka suspension. Yes, I am building suspension for this. Yes, it needs suspension. Let me explain. You have this machine that is governed at 75 miles an hour. That's what the governor is on this, 75 miles an hour. And that's for either versions, either horsepower version. And you put a mule utility shock on there. It is smooth at slow speeds. It has a lot of body roll. It has a lot of sway, a lot of body roll to it, honestly. And I'm really surprised they didn't put sway bars front and rear on this sucker and lock that sucker down. I'm really surprised that Kawasaki didn't do that. But that's the thing. I am really surprised that they didn't put any sway bars at all on this thing. Really, as fast as it goes, I'm shocked at that. Now, to me, that's a good thing. I hate sway bars. These are off-road vehicles. These aren't meant to be driven on the street at 60, 70 miles an hour and then you just chuck it into a corner. No, it's not what these are meant for. This is a trail machine, and with no sway bars, allows 100% movement of each shock independently from left to right. A sway bar locks them down together. So this shock, if you have a sway bar on this shock will raise up until that sway bar torques a certain amount, and then it stops the shock from moving. It translates all of that movement into the chassis, and the chassis will start to tilt up. So that's when you start picking up tires like on the back here and everything like that. So I'm actually surprised they didn't put sway bars, but it does have a lot of sway. The suspension, I'm going to be honest, the suspension, stock suspension, feels like driving a boat. So if you're on the street and you just go like that, the sucker goes whoa, whoa. And I'll show you that here in a bit. Now, it's plush at slow speeds. But you start going fast, it starts showing the downside of that suspension. And okay, let me step back here before I put my foot in my mouth. I am talking now as an individual reviewing this machine. I'm trying not to talk as a dealer, okay? So I'm trying to do that as best I can. I am trying to be non-biased as much as possible here. Being that I am a Kawasaki dealer, I am in partnership with Kawasaki. This is my machine as much as Kawasaki's in that partnership. So of course I want to talk it up. I want to tell you how awesome it is. And it is awesome. I'll tell you, it is a nice machine. It is a really nice machine. And as both a dealer and an individual, oh God, Kawasaki, why didn't you make a 4-seater? I would have bought a Ridge 4-seater like that. I'm telling you, I would have bought an HVAC XC like that. No questions asked. And, you know, I have a TRX4 right now that is just ungodly. Long travel suspension, all that stuff. And just, oh my God. Anyways, I can jabber on. This sucker's going to be long. Oh boy, this is going to be long. Hang in there, everybody. Grab yourself a drink. Let's get to it. Let's go to the dash here. So really awesome. It's got the same instrumentation cluster as the KRX. You hit the select button, bam, you see that lights up, bam, goes right to that. So you have everything. I could spend all day talking to you about this here. All the different selections, select modes, everything. I mean, you've got so much stuff. You can shake a stick at this sucker, you don't even know what's going on. Read your owner's manual to go through all this, honestly. I don't have the time to go through this entire machine in that aspect. But these are the controls for your dash here, so you can select, return, up, down, you know, to go through your page selections on this. This is your winch in and out, and you have your headlights on, off, low beam. So that's high beam, low beam, and off right there is all the way down. And then I like to run lights while I'm driving and everything. Your power mode switch is right over here. Now this has 3 power mode switch. You see I'm in work right now. So all the way down is work. In the middle is normal. And then you see right there, see sport. Okay, now what I can tell. Now from the seat of my pants dyno, that's what I call it. The seat of the pants dyno. What I can tell, this does nothing for power whatsoever. What this does is more like a sport plus, like in a BMW. You're going to sharpen throttle response. It's going to take less throttle to do the same amount of work, so to speak, in the engine. So when you're in work mode, your fly-by-wire throttle control system now requires more throttle movement in order to go. So this is how you make it on very bumpy situations or situations that you don't need that sharp, hard-hitting power. You want work mode. So it's just, you could go through bumps and do this and the machine doesn't even move. It just sounds like an electric motor. And it's, I'm serious, you're like driving along and it's like, that's how it works. I put it on sport, it's like wham, wham, wham. It's very sharp, very fast throttle response. But I did several drag races in this. I call it drag races, which is a 300-foot burst. So I'm not, this machine, it's got 3 miles on it and it's all me driving it. And this isn't running a machine hard. Come on. This machine is designed to do this, and I'm not, trust me, I'm actually breaking the machine in correctly. So I got up here, I got it from that line on that asphalt right there, and then back over there, there's some dumpsters, and I do some runs. And this thing in work, normal, and sport literally did to the exact same mile per hour in 300 feet. Now, I'm not timing it. I'm not sitting there with a clock and timing it to figure out how many tenths of a second sport would give me. I would say sport's going to give me a slight edge off the line because of throttle response. It's going to jump and it's going to snap and get up quicker. But The clutching is, okay, from, once again, let me back up here from a driver owner perspective point of view here, not as a dealer. The clutching is smooth and numb, okay? That is actually a good thing when you think about it, okay? When you have a high performance, hard hitting, snappy clutch into a machine, it becomes very hard to drive. So you'll breathe on the throttle and that clutch snaps in, and it's like dumping the clutch in a manual car. It's like wobble, wobble, wobble. And then what happens, you're trying to climb up a hill, and finesse is better than power. Power is nothing without control. That's my biggest thing when I talk about suspension. Power is nothing without control. And if you have a machine, you're trying to go up a hill, and you breathe on the throttle and the sucker just breaks loose the tires, you're immediately letting off the throttle, and then you get that whoop, whoop up the hill. So you want it to be like an electric motor. Finesse, and that sucker will just crawl right up it. Why do you think the KRX is so good at what it does? So there you go. The bed, you have the latch on each side. I just wanted to show you real quick because I'm moving on into the engine here. So here's that beautiful inline 4-cylinder. No, it's not two KRX engines bolted together and then downsized. No, it's a completely different machine, completely different engine, very, very specific to this. It is a dry clutch CVT system, so it is not a wet clutch like the KRX. It is essentially a modified mule clutch. It is smooth like a mule, but there is just something, and I will show you when I drive it. There's a certain RPM that this clutching is not flawless, but I mean, I'm having to find that situation, okay? So I will find that situation and I'll show it to you. And this sucker is so quiet. Let me start this thing. You'll probably hear these cars out here. I mean, that's with the bed open. Seriously. That thing's amazing. And I mean, it is, I mean, like no vibration. I'm gonna set the phone on the steering wheel right now. Like nothing. You can barely feel a little tiny buzz. That's it, a little buzz. But I mean, you have to literally, you can barely feel it here, but you can feel it a little bit in the steering wheel, a little vibration. But I mean, nothing like most other machines. It's very, very impressive. Very impressive. I do like it. Has a pneumatic piston assist for dumping. Has a 1,000-pound bed capacity, which is amazing because a Mule Pro FX has twice the bed and it's a 1,000-pound bed capacity. So I guess they rate it based off of chassis, what the chassis can handle. And of course all Kawasaki's are always, I mean, look how beefy that sucker is. Look at the freaking axle. Look at that. So let me shut this off real quick here, just so we don't have that engine background noise, because I really want to show you. This thing has axles, I think, bigger than the KRX. I mean, the axle cups. That sucker's massive. That's got to be like 5 inches. 5-inch cup on that sucker. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. I mean, it's a massive, massive axles. Massive durability from Kawasaki. 2-inch receiver hitch. 2,500-pound towing capacity. 250-pound tongue capacity. That's ridiculous for a side-by-side. So this is a workhorse that hauls ass. Now, a lot of people say, well, yeah, they hear that. It can do 75 miles an hour. Yes. Is it fast? Well, define fast. Are you asking, is it quick? Or is it fast because it can do 75 miles an hour? No, it is not quick. It's not as quick as a KRX. It's a little bit quicker than a TRX, honestly. Clutching. You can get more out of the clutching. You want it to hit harder and pull harder with all that stuff, yeah. But in a 300 foot, my T-Rex with a god-awful amount of parts to it, with a stage 3 clutching, machined and everything, running 30-inch tires, I can do 36 miles an hour in 300 feet. This does 45. Now you're like, well, that's 45 miles an hour in 300 feet is blowing your T-Rex away. Like I said, I have a crap load of stuff. If I take a stock T-Rex, a bone stock T-Rex will do 42. A T-Rex 800 bone stock with 27s on an S model will do 42 miles an hour in 300 feet, and this does 45. Okay, is this going to blow your socks off? No. Is this going to blow away razors? No. But it's got plenty of get up and go. Don't get me wrong. You're buying a Kawasaki Ridge. You're not buying a Razor. You're not buying a KRX. You're not buying a Maverick. You're buying a Ridge. You got a beautiful steering wheel, tilt steering, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, full 4-wheel differential lockers. Now, not all Ridges have diff lock, okay? Not all of them do. Only some of them do. Pretty much all the XCs do, and I believe the Ridge and the Limited, I think, have. Don't quote me on that. Once again, refer to Kawasaki.com, and it, look at the specific model that interests you, and it'll tell you if it has diff lock or not. Park and brake is right here, and you just pull it out, and then to release it. Now, of course, this is kind of in the way, so let me move this real quick here. I got to leave that on there for everything, ages 16 and older, tilt table, all that stuff. So I have to leave that on there. And then to release it, you just pull and let go. Oh, I'm rolling. But that's how easy the park and brake is. I'm 6 feet. I got 36-inch inseam. I mean, look, I got loads of room. I fit really well. The positioning is really well. You can get everything, plenty of room. The seat, both the driver and the passenger seat, is adjustable several inches. Yeah, I'm doing this with one hand, keep in mind, so you can see how much room. You can slide it forward and then slide it back. Now, of course, this particular model is called a 3-passenger because it's the bench seat, but they do also have some with the bucket seats. So I know this is kind of getting a little confusing, and I don't have all day to go over and show every single model, every single feature. So once again, refer to Kawasaki.com, talk to your local dealer. You have this cubby hole here, which is spring loaded, just pops right in there. Now, some of the biggest complaints I've seen from people on forums right now is they hate the glove box. They say my glove box won't close. Okay, let me show you. If you just try to go, yeah, I mean, see? You have to hear it click. It stays on there, but if you flex this, see how easy it is to flex. I think that's kind of the, I think this could do with some ridging right here, because if you go to pull on this, see, I just push down right here. The plastic flexes, and that switch just, all it does is come undone. So there is kind of the thing. And you can see, I think some ridging, some webbing back here to reinforce this, to kind of hold it straighter. I think that could be an improvement. And then you got another spring-loaded hitch here with the outlet. This is where your winch lanyard plugs into, right up there. So that's pretty cool. But I think that's really about it. It just needs some webbing right here. And heck, I bet you some aftermarket 3D print places could make something right there that you could screw or glue on and have a couple of webbing right there and say, glove box fix, here you go, $9.95 plus tax plus shipping, whatever. I don't know, I'm just saying. You got loads and loads and loads of places for switches, and another outlet right here. Your handle for the middle passenger, handle for the right side passenger, and then of course driver side here. The seats are pretty cush and comfy, but my back does not like this angle. I wish it was tilted back a little bit more. Now, I have not driven one of these with the bucket seats. It looks like the T-Rex seats. Now, I like the T-Rex seats, so I haven't driven one, so I don't have a preference on that, because they haven't hit dealers yet as far as those models. So once I get them, I'll do some more videos and we can kind of narrow it down. So it's a personal preference thing. The center part will drop down, and you got a couple more cup holders for days. Cup holders here, cup holders there, cup holders there. You got foot placement deal in the fender well there for the passenger, foot placement deal here for the driver, and of course all Kawasaki's have steel fender wells to protect you. None of that plastic like everybody else does. All right, John, shut up and drive this thing. Okay, geez. Come on, Mom, get off my back. Quick walk around real quick here. Let's go drive this thing, so I can kind of show you its performance. Now, I've got my seatbelt hack back here. So, always wear your seatbelt. Always wear your seatbelt. Low range is first, high range is second. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm in work mode. Let me click that there. See, I'm in work mode right here. See? Work mode, low range. I'm going to breathe on the throttle. See, if I try to just crawl, you can see the machine lunging slowly. I mean, how often are you guys going to do? Oops. Look at that. Idiot. Idiot. Turn off the parking brake, dumb idiot. Okay. See, whenever you try to breathe on, the machine will lunge forward a little bit. So, I mean, I'm 3 miles an hour, but if I get down to like 1 mile an hour here, you see the phone move? That's the machine lunging. I'm trying to be smooth, but it's just, you have to get at literally 1 mile an hour. How often are you going to drive 1 mile an hour? Come on. I'm making sure there's no cars coming up behind me. So, put it in a high range here. Like I said, it's super, it's smooth. You can make the clutch imperfect, but you have to be imperfect to make the clutch. And I get the doors, but come on, it should have been flat. I'm not a fan of the door. I get what the doors. It's not meant for you to put your arm on. Okay, so like right here, basically right here at the dumpsters it's right. It's like 302 feet. My little drag strip that I do, my burst acceleration deal. So I'm just cruising really slow. We're doing 9 miles an hour. I'm like halfway on the throttle. There we go. And get over here, I get a car coming. But in work mode, like I said, it's that smooth delivery. And see, like, I'm going to show you. Look how much my foot's moving, and you can't even really hear the engine change. So that's the purpose of work. If you're going through a lot of bumps and you're just blah, 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 switch it into work mode. You don't need that full power, because, I mean, it'll shit and get. It'll go. You got the power, but it's smooth delivery. And then normal, you put it on normal, it's a little bit more responsive. So if you want more response, let me show you my... So you can hear the engine kind of fluctuate a little bit now because I was hitting, you know, I'm just in the ditch here, just hitting a few little bumps on it. Now I'll go to sport mode. This sucker has an impressive turning radius. Look at that. Look at that. Right back in like nothing. Okay, so I'm in sport mode. I'm still in two-wheel drive. I'm not in four-wheel drive or nothing like that. We're just showing you throttle response and everything right now. So right now I'm having a hard time keeping them. You can hear the engine kind of wow. I'm having a hard time keeping up. So this is why at slow speed, sport is not the best. Now I'll show you the response. Look at that. Just a little tap. Okay, I'm going to show you close. Watch this. See how much? That sucker barely moves. That's the throttle response. It doesn't mean that it has more power. It's just more responsive. It just hits a little quicker, you know. But you can hear the driveline lash of the engine engaging, disengaging, engaging, disengaging, and that's what sport gives you. It's my foot. I'm trying to be very smooth. My foot is planted on my heel, and I'm just trying to move my toes, but it's the bumps will kind of make it hesitate like that and kind of surge. Let's turn back around here. Impressive turning radius. Like I said, in this type of stuff, the suspension's smooth, but it's, let me get up to about 15 miles an hour here. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, it dives probably 2 or 3 inches this way and then 2 or 3 inches that way just doing that. So it dips and dives. Once again, it doesn't have performance suspension, but I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna build some epic shocks for this sucker, man. This thing is gonna be sweet. So now I'm gonna turn around. We got some rain clouds coming in here. We're gonna get dumped on here today. It's the middle of May 2024. Hey Crow, get you some food. So I'm gonna do, you know, we're full temperature there. You can see the temp gauge right here. And this is 85 octane fuel. We're not running super. You don't need to run super. 87 at the top. This isn't a really high compression engine. I'm at 7,000 foot altitude. Literally like 69, 87 or something like that. But I'm at 7,000 foot altitude. So I'm gonna run this sucker. Let's see what this truck does real quick here. Okay, he's gonna turn. Right there where he's turning, that's 1 block from here to there. Hello, officer. I'm gonna go really slow here. Ready, set. So you can see almost 60 miles an hour in a block. So is it fast? Hey, it's not bad at all. At all. You know, I'm just talking in a short burst, like 300 feet, a T-Rex will keep up with it. But after that, this is going to walk away. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, a T-Rex is governed at 50 miles an hour. So, yeah, it's, you know, that's all it can do right there, unless you flash the ECU and everything. And that's in sport mode. But I just wanted to show you, I mean, just driving it, it's quiet, it's smooth, it rides good at slow speed. Rides good at slow speed. It's got good torque, it's got good engine braking, like that is pure engine braking, no brakes. Now, the brakes, way better brakes than a T-Rex. I will give it that. Way better brakes. And if you burn the brakes in correctly, when you brake in the machine, you have to burn in the brakes. Okay? And you do that by, just driving down the road and then kind of drag the brakes, then let go, let them cool, drag the brakes some more, about 5-6 seconds, then let them back off, let them cool again. You have to do that for about 3 times, and you'll notice your braking power. And this is on every side-by-side ever made. And we always try to do that on new machines. When we drive them, we try to burn the brakes in. So, we try to make the machine as good as possible for the new owner at our dealership. So PDI, proper setup, all that other stuff is so key to us. We believe that if you're getting the machine set up right, everything is good, it's all good. Comes a KRX, customer of ours on KRX. I would race him. I think I could give him a run for his money. It's a 4C KRX, all stock. I think I'd give him a run for his money, honestly. I mean, top speed, this is higher. I will say one thing though. This engine loves to rev. It loves to rev. So when it's pulling, it's not at peak power. So if you want some more peak power, you want to tap into that power, then you get some clutch work done and wait until like JBS, V-Force John, all those guys get their hands on it. But watch the RPMs. Really pulls at about 8 grand. I'm going to show you in low range. Let me turn around. So I'm going to show you this thing real quick in low range. Because when this sucker like, when the clutching finally shifts all the way out and the clutching reaches its max speed, and then you're left on RPM, then it's RPMs. This sucker like surges and has like a ninja, dude. I kid you not. Like that sucker gets up around 8 grand. It just from 8 to 9 grand is like, holy crap. I don't know if you can hear it or if there's too much wind, but it's like it hits 8 grand and it's like, whoa! It sounds really cool. I dig it because it's a 4-cylinder. God, what this thing would sound like with a cool exhaust on it. Sound like a ninja tearing through the woods, man. I want one, honestly. I need a 4-seater. I need a 4-seater. So I was super depressed because I was gonna buy one. I would have bought a 4-seat HVAC XC in a heartbeat, no questions. I like it. It's a nice machine. I want to drive one with the bucket seats to really see, really get a feel for it. I think I would enjoy a little bit more tilt back. This seat, my back doesn't really like to sit straight up like this, and wish it was a little bit more lean back, but they would have to stretch the cabin a couple more inches, and you got to look at the engineering aspect of it. So your mid-range pull, like if you're on a trail, corner to corner, say you're doing like 15 miles an hour, opens up. Gets up and moves really good. Does really good. Oh, it got cloudy and it's starting to cool off. You can smell the rain coming. It's gonna downpour. Better get this bad boy inside. So, my overall verdict, I really like it. It's an impressive machine. I love the engine. A little bit of refinement in it. We get a set of our Hester Edition Elka shocks built and get them on this machine. I think it's going to be pretty wicked. Now, see, the lights will stay on for a little bit. See, bam, they go off. It's like a car. They are making these things so nice nowadays. It's ridiculous. But like I was saying, we get a set of Hester Edition Elka shocks. I'm going to improve the ride quality tremendously, the performance through the roof. God, man, it's gonna be pretty sick once I get the shocks done for it. And then aftermarket companies I know are gonna take hold of this because it's a high-end premium machine. So I guarantee you Super ATV is gonna start making arms. They're probably gonna make big lifts. They're probably gonna put portals on this thing. You're gonna see some redonkulous ridges in the next 2 to 3 years. You know, it's going to take some time to get these aftermarket companies. They need to get their hands on one and then start testing and prototyping and building stuff and testing and prototyping and scrapping and throwing it in the garbage and starting over again. It takes time to do that, you know, because they you know, they want to make sure it's right. So oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is there's not a whole lot of side-by-sides that have the gas cap on the driver's side, and they finally did that. Gas cap on the gas tank on the driver's side. I forgot to open up the seat. See, you guys keep distracting me. Stop talking. You guys talk too much. Good Lord, 46 minutes. There we go. I'm pulling the wrong way. So seat pops up, little tiny cubby there. There's a space here that you could probably bolt down, toolbox or something right underneath there. You got loads of room underneath there. Pretty slick on that. I like that. The doors, I mean, they're big doors and they seal. That's nice because you're not going to have any dust or anything, any cold air coming up in your back. None of that stuff. It's going to be really nice. It's all the way up to right here is the back. And then as you can tell, everything is fitted in. The roll cage and everything is all fitted in. About time, Kawasaki. Good job. About time. It's going to be nice. I can see Super ATV coming out with a nice full flip windshield for this bad boy pretty soon. Rear window, proper upper doors. We're going to be, yeah, you're going to have all kinds of stuff that you can build whatever you want, customize however you want. Guarantee you that, you know, like I said, they can fit 32s right out of the gate. So that's pretty impressive. And I know clutching guys are going to get their hands on these clutches and they're going to start tweaking and they're going to start seeing what they can do. ECU tuning guys are going to start messing with this because it's a high-end, high-performance engine and they're going to see what can we do, you know? So I better get off. Hey, if you stuck around this long, kudos to you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But I guarantee you probably 95% of you already said I talk too much and stop watching and all that other stuff. So if you stayed this long, hey man, comment down below and tell me you watched it up to this point. You watched the whole thing. I mean, that's I'm gonna give you a heart for that and a big thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I try to go through, I know I talk a lot, but I'm trying to give you the information. You know, I could make a 5-minute video on this and say, the Ridge has this, it has this, it has this, suspensions, yeah, and then be done with the video. You know, I could make, hey, if you guys want to, you know, the Ridge in 5 minutes or less type video, I could make it and then edit it in and just say, this, yeah, this, no, this, yeah, this, yeah, this, yeah, this, no, this, yeah, you know, I could do that, but come on. Thank you all for watching. God bless. If you haven't subscribed, I got tons of stuff coming for this channel. I'm going to do a lot more rides. I'm going to do a lot more reviews. I'm going to do a lot more. And I thank you all. Thank you, God, for blessing me with all of you who watch my channel. I really appreciate it. And if you need anything for your machines, your Ridge, your whatever, if you want a custom built Ridge, you contact Hester's Motorsports. Right there's the website there. They can custom build your Ridge any way that you could dream of up to this point. But once more parts start coming out, you will be able to build whatever you can fathom on there. So you want a Ridge with a big old lift and some 8-inch portals and some 47-inch tires. You'll probably see it in a few years. Ridiculous. You want the trophy truck? I'll be building the shocks soon. I'll have them probably maybe this fall. I don't know. Depends on testing, how I can get a vehicle at that time and all that stuff. So I've already got the specs. I already used this one to get all the specs, work out the geometry so I can build some prototypes, and then it's just testing, finalization, and then ready for sale. So a lot goes in the science of suspension is tremendous, and I guarantee you nobody does as much testing as I do and finalizing. I make sure my baselines are crazy. So enough of that. I'll have another video on that. Thank you all. God bless. Have a great day.